This is Mac OS Ken.
Enter the cheerleader. Shoppers may have gone thrifty on iPhone last quarter, and Samsung has our eyes filled with that Double Vision Pro. It is Thursday, the 23rd of January, 2025. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from Mac OS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/MacOSCan. Turn crying time into buying time. That seems to be the advice of Wedbush analyst Daniel Ives. While the one-month chart for ticker symbol AAPL looks like a decent downhill ski run at this point, Apple's biggest booster on the street says the panic and bear frenzy around Apple is way overdone. On Wednesday, Apple 3.0 ran part of a note he wrote. Yes, December quarter iPhone sales in China look soft. He thinks Apple will still hit expectations thanks to iPhone strength pretty much everywhere else. Services will have crushed it and will continue to do so in his expectation. And he still thinks the slow rollout of Apple Intelligence and current iPhone 16 sales are the start of a massive growth renaissance. The way he and his see it, we continue to view street numbers for 2025 and 2026 as conservative, and the sell-off in the stock over the past few weeks we view as a golden opportunity to own the tech stalwart that will usher in the consumer AI revolution. Mr. Ives has an outperform rating on Apple shares. His 12-month price target on the shares is $325. That's a little more than $100 above Apple's starting price today of $223.83. An interesting take on December quarter iPhone sales from boutique analytics firm Consumer Intelligence Research Partners, or CIRP. According to their most recent survey, lower-priced iPhones were resurgent over the holiday quarter here in the States. Did he say survey? Indeed he did. According to their About page, CIRP surveys consumers on recent purchase activity to generate timely, accurate, and focused insights into consumer behavior. So, based on people to whom they spoke and what those people had to say, thrift was a thing over the holidays. Not the thing, but a thing. Running through their numbers, iPhone 16 Pro Max was tops with a 23% share of respondents. iPhone 16 was a close second with a 21% share. iPhone 16 Pro and, this one's surprising, iPhone 14 were tied for third, each with a 16% share. iPhone 16 Plus and iPhone 15 were tied for fourth, each with an 8% share of respondents. On the upside, CIRP says the new iPhone 16 models combine for a 68% share of total U.S. iPhone sales based on their survey. That was slightly ahead of the 65% share for the iPhone 15 models for the same period a year earlier. But the combined share for the current Pro models was down, landing at 39% for the December quarter of 2024 versus 42% for the 15 Pros for the December quarter of 2023. And again, the relatively strong showing for iPhone 14 is notable. CIRP points out that the 2-year-old iPhone 14 had 16% of sales in the December 2024 quarter. By comparison, the 2-year-old model in the December 2023 quarter, iPhone 13, had only 12% of sales. What's the dealio? Well, they're not ready to say. Saying what we don't know is what is driving this apparent thrift. Are the leading-edge iPhone buyers waiting for anticipated significant changes in the iPhone 17 lineup? Is it the installed base of Pro and Pro Max phones performing so well that they don't need replacing? Is inflationary pressure on other purchases encouraging iPhone buyers to save $100 or $200, selecting phones that still more than meet their needs? CIRP expects answers to such questions to present themselves over the next couple of quarters. Hey, wake up. Indonesia indicates that its iPhone 16 sales ban could be lifted soon. Okay, go back to sleep now. Seriously, this freaking story, this freaking bleepin' never-ending story. Should I do the whole thing again? Really? This past fall, Apple was roughly $15 million short on required investments in Indonesia, prompting the country to ban the sale of iPhone 16. Apple offered an investment of $10 million and upped that to $100 million, an offer Indonesia declined. Instead, the country urged Apple to immediately set up a production facility or factory in Indonesia. In the first part of December, a minister in Indonesia indicated that the government there expected Apple to offer $1 billion in investment soon, restarting iPhone 16 sales. Apple did do that, but not the way Indonesia wanted. Second week of this year, we heard that Apple had pledged to invest $1 billion in the country. Thing is, that investment was supposed to go toward parts for the iPhone Apple wants to sell. What Apple committed to was getting a factory off the ground, or really on the ground, to make AirTags in Indonesia. So what now? Now, according to a piece from 9to5Mac, the Indonesian government has said that it expects its iPhone 16 ban to be lifted within 1 or 2 weeks, but has not explained the basis for this. Also, they didn't really say that. What Indonesia's investment minister said on Bloomberg TV was, "I strongly believe that it will resolve very, very soon. Hopefully, within 1 or 2 weeks, this issue can be resolved." This freaking story. Samsung held its Unpacked event on Wednesday, full of announcements about which I simply do not care. One did catch my eye, though: Sammy's answer to Apple Vision Pro. As is so often the case, the South Korean company's first answer to an Apple thing looks a whole lot like the Apple thing. After acknowledging the design similarities, a piece from Mac Rumors says the headset, dubbed Project Muhan, is being developed in collaboration with Google. It'll run Google's Android XR operating system. The piece says the OS and the headset will support full immersion or augmented reality, theoretically like Vision OS and Apple Vision Pro. Can't really fault Google and Samsung for going mixed reality. As Leonardo DiCaprio would say, it's the way of the future. Seriously, though, they could have done something to differentiate the look. There's no indication in the report on how much the Samsung Google headset will cost, set to launch sometime in 2025, according to the report. Staying in the mixed reality space, VentureBeat had a stat this week that seemed to excite VentureBeat, pointing to this year's GDC State of the Industry report, which the site calls a massive and far-reaching survey of game developers across all disciplines within the industry. Yeah, pointing to that report, the piece says more developers are working on games for Apple Vision Pro than are working on games for Sony's PlayStation VR ecosystem. Last year, the piece says the Sony platform had the lead, with 15% of respondents working on the PlayStation side to 13% working on an Apple Vision Pro game. This year, those are flipped, with 26% of respondents working on an Apple Vision Pro game to the 25% working on something for PlayStation VR. VentureBeat finds that reversal odd, since PlayStation VR is a dedicated gaming headset, while Apple's own promotion for its headset barely even mentions gaming. Personally, I'm just happy to see both of those numbers going up. Apple Miami World Center opens this weekend, and Apple has posted the usual virtual tour for one of its flagship stores. A piece from Mac Rumors highlights some of the highlights highlighted by Apple. Those include a combined Genius Bar and Apple pickup counter, an Apple Vision Pro demo area, the use of regionally sourced materials, helping to reduce the carbon footprint of the store's construction, and a green space on the roof that seamlessly blends with the surrounding palm trees and shrubs. Mac Rumor says, Apple says the store was designed with the environment in mind, and to connect customers with the natural world, because nothing says natural world like a 27-acre office/retail park. Apple Miami World Center opens tomorrow, Friday, the 24th of January, at 10 a.m. Eastern. We'll wrap the day with news of 3 new titles headed to Apple TV+. For kids and families, the Cupertino streamer is bringing the animated series Goldie, said to be inspired by the 2019 award-winning short film of the same name. Apple's press release says the 13 half-hour episodes follow Goldie, a giant girl with a big heart, as she sets off on epic adventures with her best friend in their beloved town of Boysenberg. Together they learn that being different is something to celebrate, and that there is space for everyone in this world, even giants. Voice actors from such animated series as Phineas and Ferb, Spidey and His Amazing Friends, and Stillwater will serve as series regulars. They'll be joined by such guest voices as Maria Bamford, Henry Winkler, and Al Yankovic, just to name a few. All 13 episodes hit Apple TV+ on Friday, the 14th of February. Closer to now, something a bit more grown up. Another press release from Apple TV Plus drops a trailer for the Spanish romantic comedy Love You to Death. The release says the show tells the story of the cautious Raul, who reconnects with free-spirited and newly pregnant Marta following his heart cancer diagnosis. They resume a friendship that began in childhood, and in a relationship brought together by fate, begin to test their beliefs about love. 7 episodes for this one. The first 2 hit Apple TV Plus on Wednesday, the 5th of February. Between now and then, you can catch the trailer on YouTube. And finally today, yet another press release from Apple TV Plus drops yet another trailer, this one for a docuseries. Describing Vietnam, the war that changed America, Apple TV Plus says the show weaves together powerful first-person testimony, never-before-seen archival footage, and emotional reunions between veterans, some of whom haven't seen each other in nearly half a century, to bring them healing, remembrance, and reconciliation. Of course, the series also addresses how the Vietnam War changed America. I mean, it's called Vietnam, the War That Changed America. Narrated by Ethan Hawke, all 6 episodes will hit Apple TV Plus on Friday, the 31st of January. The trailer is up now on YouTube. macOS Ken, brought to you by me, and supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/macOSKen. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media. Online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. info@macosken.com or call 716-780-4080. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Leonard likes this post.